year of Joey and Dawson's breakup, of Y2K and Napster. It was the year I took the SAT for the 3rd time and smoked my first joint. It was 11th grade, and it was the year she transferred to our high school. Goldilocks arrived like an innocent new chick fresh out of the womb, just looking for anyone to call mother. My friends and I called dibs as soon as we heard the announcement of her New York City gal descending upon boring suburban Beltway town. My crew and I knew she'd be the perfect piece to round out our awkward kids club, our pack of cynical theater nerds with a little too much cool for class, a little too much vocab for popular. She would slip in swimmingly, we imagined, with her patched up backpack, manic panicked hair, and Manhattan flair. But the day she arrived, 3rd period English, looking like a tall blonde dandelion lost in a field of tulips, pristine as a clinic commercial. My friends flashed me the most disappointed of glances. She did not look like the manic pixie dream girl of our BFF fantasies. She looked like the American dream on a stick. Like her skin was carved from the white leather seat of a Buick, her hair plucked from amber waves of grain. I no longer wanted to befriend her. I wanted to frenemy her. And frenemy her, I did. See, this is the trick of awkward, chubby high schoolers the world over. 1, find seemingly shallow chick. 2, preempt any dislike she may have towards you by wooing her with your outrageous humor while simultaneously fantasizing about her perfect little life. 3, proceed in making fun of her with your friends who have actual real-life brains. So, despite my friends' eye rolls and demands to abort mission, this is how the frenemyship of Goldie and I began. I motioned her to sit by us that day, learned that Goldie was an only child, that she had a passport bursting with stamps, that she was a ballerina and won the New York State spelling bee on the word arctophilia, that she had been to 17 countries in the last year and was doing 11th grade over because of it. My friends no doubt scoffed, and believe me, I wanted to dislike her too, but we actually began to bond over little things at first. Lip Smackers flavors and Baz Luhrmann's Romeo. The embarrassing fact that we both still slept with teddy bears, and the crush we both had on our guidance counselor. She was so remarkably harmless in a way that was this wonderful escape from the angsty pretension and constant snark of my friends. Yes, she was a precision ed dancer. Yes, she was knocking out straight A's, yet couldn't follow the plot of the Care Bear movie. Yes, her locker was decoupaged with an uncomfortable amount of Winnie the Pooh. But I liked her. I envied her. I imagined all the ways her life was nothing like mine. I bet she never struggled with the sting of being called fat, or Jew, or being told by perfect strangers that she looked exactly like the girl from Welcome to the Dollhouse. She had it so easy. The first time I went to Goldie's house was exactly what I imagined. Boys giving up their seats for her as we filled the bus with our giggles, a plate of cookies and a heart-shaped note awaiting us on the kitchen counter. It was a little too late in fall to be hanging outside, but we wasted the afternoon there anyway, swinging on the set the last family had left in the backyard, combing our fingers through the sandbox and talking about boys and college and a variety of things that seemed so earth-shattering at the time. It was getting dark and cold. I asked if we could go hang in her room, and suddenly her fingers stopped moving through the sand. Her face turned the color of the changing leaves, and the toddler in me did not heed the warning of her apprehension. I ran. I barged into the house. It was a game, I thought, as I slid through the kitchen and down the hall, swinging the door open, pink monogram Goldilocks flinging to the floor, and there it was. Amongst the sea of trophies and medals, pictures and maps thumbtacked in every continent. A bearskin rug, head intact, draped over her bed like something out of a ski lodge horror film. Its ferocious face stopping me in my tracks. I looked up, just as she ran in behind me, her face curling into a mortified frown. Sure, it was pretty ugly, and definitely kind of weird, but I will never forget her slumped in that doorway, shaking with the uncontrollable tears of an infant. And it suddenly clicked. The Winnie the Pooh locker, the bonding over teddy bears, the bear fur stole she wore to homecoming, the fact she never stayed for sleepovers at other people's houses, there was something happening here. Some comfort that the constant moving and lack of company had left her without. And all I had built for her were my own silly little assumptions. She didn't want a fucking fan. She wanted a friend. And even though there was no school assembly for what to do when you think your friend is addicted to bear fur, I could have been there more for her. And as I crawled up next to her on the floor that day, my hand fitting into hers just right, I promised her I would.